Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Practice English. I'm your host, Christine. It's so good to have you here with me again today. I hope you're doing well, wherever you are, and that you're feeling ready to learn something small but powerful that will change the way you speak English, and maybe even how you see yourself. Let me start with a little question. How many times have you said the word sorry today? Once? Twice? Maybe 5 or 6 times? Think about it. Someone bumps into you at the grocery store, you say sorry. You send a message a few minutes late, you say sorry again. It's almost automatic, isn't it? The funny thing is, many English learners and even native speakers say sorry far too often. It becomes a habit. A word that jumps out even when nothing bad has happened. We use it to sound polite, or to fill silence, or to soften our tone. But here's the thing. Sometimes sorry doesn't actually help. Sometimes it makes you sound less confident or even guilty when you've done nothing wrong. So today's episode is all about changing that. By the end, you'll know 10 smart, kind, and confident ways to express yourself instead of always saying sorry. You'll see that a simple shift in language can change how people feel around you and how you feel when you speak English. Ready? Let's begin. The first phrase is, "Thank you for your patience." Let's imagine you're running a little late to a meeting. Most people would say, "Sorry, I'm late." But what happens when you say, "Thank you for waiting for me"? You see, one focuses on guilt, the other focuses on gratitude. Thank you for your patience turns a negative moment into a warm one. It tells people you value their time and effort, and it makes you sound calm and thoughtful instead of nervous or apologetic. Try this in your next conversation. When you keep someone waiting or take time to reply to a message, instead of saying, "Sorry for the delay," say, "Thanks for your patience," or "I appreciate you waiting." You'll notice how the tone of the conversation changes immediately. Now, the second phrase, "I appreciate your understanding." This is one of my favorites for professional or polite situations. Let's say you made a small mistake in an email or you couldn't finish something on time. You could say, "I'm sorry for the confusion, but I appreciate your understanding" sounds more confident and respectful. It shows that you value the other person's patience and maturity. It doesn't over-apologize, but it still shows care. For example, "I appreciate your understanding while I fix this issue." Doesn't that sound kind and professional at the same time? Phrase number 3, "Excuse me." It's a classic, but many learners confuse it with sorry. "Excuse me" is for polite interruptions, like when you need to get someone's attention, pass by in a crowded place, or enter a conversation. You don't need to apologize in those moments. You're not doing anything wrong, you're just being respectful. Picture this. You're in a cafe and someone's standing between you and the sugar counter. You can say, "Excuse me, may I pass?" instead of "sorry." It's short, polite, and confident. Phrase number 4, "Pardon me." This one feels a bit more formal and elegant. You can use it when you didn't hear something clearly. For instance, instead of "sorry, what did you say?" you can try, "Pardon me, could you repeat that?" It sounds gentle and respectful, especially in professional or polite conversations. It shows you're attentive and careful with your words. Phrase number 5, "I didn't mean to." This one is perfect for small mistakes that truly are your fault, but you don't want to sound overdramatic. Maybe you accidentally step on someone's foot or spill some coffee. You can say, "Oh, I didn't mean to. Let me clean that." It sounds honest and responsible. You're not just apologizing, you're taking action. Let's pause and think for a moment. Have you noticed something? All these phrases shift the energy. Instead of focusing on guilt or shame, they focus on understanding, gratitude, or solutions. And that's what good communication is all about. Now, phrase number 6. Thanks for letting me know. Let's say a coworker points out a small error in your report, or a friend corrects your pronunciation. Your first instinct might be to say, "Oh, sorry," but here's a better way. Thanks for letting me know. This turns an uncomfortable moment into a learning opportunity. You're showing openness, not embarrassment. It's one of the simplest ways to sound both kind and confident in English. Phrase number 7, that's my mistake. This one is for when you need to take responsibility clearly, calmly, and with strength. Instead of saying, "I'm so sorry, I completely messed up," you can simply say, "That's my mistake, I'll fix it." See the difference? One sounds anxious, the other sounds accountable. It tells people you're reliable and mature. Even native speakers respect this kind of honesty. In work, in friendships, or in daily life, being able to admit a mistake without fear makes you trustworthy. Phrase number 8, I understand. This is a very powerful phrase in emotional situations. Sometimes we say sorry because we don't know what else to say when someone's upset. But what people really want is empathy, not apology. For example, if a friend says, "I've been really stressed at work lately," instead of, "Oh, I'm sorry," try saying, "I understand. That sounds really tough." It shows that you care and you're listening. You're not blaming yourself. You're being present with them. Empathy makes your English feel human and warm, and that's something no grammar rule can teach you. Phrase number 9, it's okay. Let's switch sides for a moment. When someone apologizes to you, how can you respond in a kind way? Instead of saying, "It's fine," or "No problem," try saying, "It's okay, don't worry." Say it with a soft tone. It immediately helps the other person feel calm. It's such a small phrase, but it carries comfort. For example, if your classmate says, "I'm sorry, I forgot to bring your book," you can say, "It's okay, I can get it tomorrow." Simple, gentle, forgiving. And the last one, phrase number 10, let's fix it. This is the most powerful one because it turns mistakes into teamwork. Instead of, "I'm sorry this happened," say, "Let's fix it together." You're not focusing on blame anymore. You're focusing on solutions. It makes you sound proactive and kind, like someone who takes action instead of just feeling bad. Imagine your friend says, "I think we got the project details wrong." You can reply, "No worries, let's fix it." It's calm, positive, and cooperative. Do you feel the shift? Each phrase makes you sound more like a leader, less like someone who's afraid of doing something wrong. Now that we've explored all 10, I want you to notice something deeper. None of these phrases remove kindness or softness. You're still polite. You're still gentle. You're just expressing it through gratitude, awareness, and empathy rather than guilt. So before we continue, let's take a quick pause and think. When do you say sorry most often? Is it when you're late, when you're nervous, or when you want people to like you? Just becoming aware of your sorry moments is already step 1 toward change. Sometimes we say sorry because it feels safe. It fills silence. It makes us sound polite. But when you learn to express the real emotion behind sorry, whether it's gratitude, respect, or understanding, your communication becomes stronger and more authentic. Let's look at a few small examples together. Imagine you're texting your friend and you take a few hours to reply. Instead of saying, "Sorry for the late reply," you could say, "Thanks for waiting. I had a busy morning." You're being polite, but you're also being confident. You're not lowering yourself, you're acknowledging the situation kindly. Or imagine this. You're at work, and your coworker corrects something in your report. The old habit would be to say, "Oh, sorry," but instead say, "Thanks for pointing that out." It's short, warm, and it shows emotional maturity. You're telling the person you value their help, not that you feel ashamed. Now let's go a little deeper. Many English learners use sorry not because they did something wrong, but because they're trying to protect relationships. Maybe they don't want to sound rude. Maybe they want to show they care. And that's beautiful. It shows you're kind-hearted. But kindness doesn't always have to sound like apology. It can also sound like gratitude, or awareness, or empathy. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm sorry I talked too much," you can say, "Thanks for listening to me." See how the meaning shifts? You're expressing appreciation instead of guilt. It feels lighter. Here's another example. Let's say you disagree with someone, but you don't want to sound aggressive. Many English learners say, "Sorry, but I think." You can replace that with, "I understand your point, but I see it a bit differently." You're still polite, but also confident in your opinion. The truth is, language isn't only about words. It's about how those words make people feel. When you constantly apologize, you may teach others to expect less confidence from you. But when you speak with calm, gratitude, or understanding, you teach them that you're both kind and strong. So let's practice a short reflection exercise together. Think about your week so far. When did you say sorry the most? Was it at work, with friends, with your teacher, maybe when sending messages? Now imagine those same moments, but you replace sorry with something else. Maybe thank you. Maybe I understand. Maybe let's fix it. How does that version of you sound? More confident? More at ease? That's exactly the kind of English you're building. Let's also talk about when sorry is the right word. Because yes, sometimes it's necessary. You should use sorry when your actions hurt someone, or when you caused real inconvenience or pain. But even then, say it once, sincerely, and then focus on what comes next. For example, if you made someone upset, you can say, "I'm really sorry I hurt you. I didn't mean to." And then, what can I do to make it right? That's emotional intelligence, not just apology, but responsibility. Remember, good communication is not about removing feelings. It's about expressing them clearly and honestly. Here's a small but powerful rule I like to call the two-step of apology. Step 1. If you truly did something wrong, say sorry once, sincerely. Step 2. Move to gratitude or action. For example, "I'm sorry I was late. Thank you for waiting." Or, "I'm sorry I forgot. Let's fix it now." This combination feels natural, mature, and positive. Let's recap all 10 phrases once again to lock them in your memory. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate your understanding. Excuse me. Pardon me. I didn't mean to. Thanks for letting me know. That's my mistake. I understand. It's okay. Let's fix it. Each one of these helps you communicate warmth without over-apologizing. And when you start using them, you'll notice something amazing. People will start reacting to you differently. They'll listen more. They'll take your words more seriously, and you'll feel less nervous when you speak. Let me give you a quick story. A few years ago, I had a student named Anna. She was very polite, but she said sorry almost every 2 sentences. If her mic didn't work, sorry. If she sneezed, sorry. If she gave a correct answer but said it quietly, she'd still say sorry. One day, I asked her, "Why do you apologize so much?" She smiled shyly and said, "Because I don't want to sound rude." So we tried something new. For 1 week, she replaced sorry with thank you. Instead of sorry, I'm late, she said, "Thanks for waiting." Instead of sorry, my English is bad, she said, "Thanks for helping me practice." And after that week, she told me something beautiful. She said, "Christine, I feel like my English sounds more confident, and I actually feel more confident inside." That's the magic of small language changes. They don't just change your grammar, they change your mindset. So here's your Let's Practice English challenge for this week. Every day, try to replace sorry once, just once. Notice the moment when the word appears in your mind, then stop and choose another phrase. If you're late, say, "Thank you for your patience." If someone corrects you, say, "Thanks for letting me know." If you make a mistake, say, "That's my mistake. I'll fix it." It's simple, it's gentle, and it's powerful. Write these 10 phrases somewhere you can see them, maybe on your phone wallpaper or on a sticky note near your desk. The more you see them, the more naturally they'll come out when you speak. And remember, English fluency isn't just about vocabulary or grammar. It's about how your words make people feel. When you replace unnecessary apologies with genuine gratitude or calm action, you communicate trust and maturity. You don't have to sound perfect. You just have to sound like you. Kind, clear, and confident. And if you ever forget what to say, that's okay too. Even awareness is progress. Every time you notice yourself saying sorry, you're learning something about how you express yourself. And that's an incredible step forward. So, as we wrap up today's episode, let's take one more deep breath together. You've learned something simple but powerful. You've learned how to turn guilt into gratitude, apology into empathy, and habit into choice. That's what learning a language is all about. Learning to express who you really are. I'm proud of you for spending this time with me today. You're growing every time you listen, reflect, and try again. Remember, words are not just sounds. They carry energy. When your words come from confidence and kindness, they lift you and everyone around you. So this week, speak gently, but don't hide behind sorry. Say what you mean. Thank people for their patience. Take responsibility when needed, but always speak as someone who knows their value. You're doing amazing. Keep practicing, keep noticing, and keep believing in your voice. I'm Christine, and this was Let's Practice English. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon for another episode.